President Trump is issuing a warning on social media against alleged drug networks in Venezuela, saying that the U.S. will take action by land soon, meaning the U.S. could be headed to war. The president is warning airlines, pilots, and criminal networks to avoid Venezuelan airspace. In a Truth Social post yesterday, the president said the airspace should be considered to be, quote, closed in its entirety. The warning comes after the president suggested the U.S. is preparing to take new action against those alleged drug trafficking networks in the country. Last week, the FAA also warned pilots to exercise caution when flying over the South American nation due to heightened military activity. The Trump administration is also pausing all asylum decisions in the wake of the shooting of 2 members of the National Guard earlier this week. This comes as Secretary of State Marco Rubio prepares to meet with Ukrainian officials in Florida in an effort to bring the war between Russia and Ukraine to an end. CBS News is in West Palm Beach, Florida, with the details.
In the wake of the shooting of 2 members of the National Guard in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday, the Trump administration is directing the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services to pause all asylum decisions. The president posted on Truth Social he will permanently pause migration from all third world countries to allow the U.S. system to fully recover. The announcement comes after the president repeatedly criticized the Biden administration's immigration policies.
There's a problem because so many bad ones came in on the planes. They just walked in. Whoever the strongest people were physically in a way, but whoever the strongest, they got on the planes. There was no checking.
The suspected gunman has been identified as Rahmanullah Lakanwal, an Afghan national living in Washington state. He served alongside U.S. troops in Afghanistan and was allowed to move to the U.S. in 2021 through a Biden-era program called Operation Allies Welcome. The changes to the nation's asylum policy came as West Virginia residents gathered to mourn the death of National Guard specialist Sarah Beckstrom, who was killed.
Nothing but caring, loving, willing to help somebody, anything out of her way to help somebody get through it.
In another White House development, CBS News has learned that Secretary of State Marco Rubio and other U.S. delegates will meet with Ukrainian officials here in Florida on Sunday.
The meeting comes in the wake of a deadly Russian attack on the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, on Saturday. President Trump had previously hoped to hammer out a deal to bring Russia's war with Ukraine to an end by Thanksgiving. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
And as that is happening, a new poll shows President Trump's approval rating is dropping. The Gallup survey poll found that only 36% of Americans approve of the job President Trump is doing. 60% of people oppose his handling of the job. This is the lowest approval rating of the president's second term in office. The survey conducted between November 3rd and November 25th. This was around the time of the year that election and the federal government shutdown was happening. The poll shows that Republicans and independents' ratings of the president have dropped since last month. Republicans' approval of the president has fallen 7 points to 84%, while only 25% of independents approve of the president.